Imagine that the person that you love and want to spend your life with looks you in the eye and says, I really want to marry you, but first you need to lose weight. You have to get into personal development and you need to learn about money. Now, is that loving honesty or is it emotional manipulation? Or is it something in between? Welcome to Life and Love by Design. I'm life and relationship coach Odette Coronel. Today, we're diving into another Reddit post that has a lot of different opinions, but I think that people are missing the real issue here. Welcome back to Life and Love by Design, a podcast where we learn how to build healthier relationships, starting with the one with yourself. If you're new here, I'm Odette Cornell, relationship coach, and today we are taking a real issue from a Reddit post. And I like to read those and comment on it because they're messy, they're relatable, but honestly, it's a great opportunity to learn. And as you listen, remember that, today is not about weight or personal development or finances. It's really about something much deeper. It's about, can someone ask you to change before they're willing to love you? So now let's get into it. Here's the situation. A woman writes into Reddit that she's been with her boyfriend for several years and marriage has been discussed. It's the natural next step. She was even expecting an engagement or a proposal soon. Her boyfriend sat her down and he said that he wasn't really quite ready to propose yet. Not because he didn't love her or because he wasn't sure about the relationship, but that he needed her to do three things first before he was willing to get engaged. And the first thing that he asked her to do is to lose weight. And the second thing he wanted her to do is to start investing in personal development. And the third thing he wanted her to do is to become better at finances and learn about financial literacy and budgeting and things like that. Only then was he willing to seriously think about marriage and get engaged. So I just want you to kind of pause for a minute and imagine what she felt like. Imagine sitting across the person that you love and you want to spend your life with, and they put this ultimatum in front of you. How would you feel? So, from what she described in the Reddit post, and from what I could imagine, she felt humiliated and she felt blindsided because he really never mentioned anything like that. She was under the impression that he loved her as she was. And all of a sudden, she felt like she had to earn the proposal. So, some of the things that people are commenting is, he's just trying to make her become her better self or her best self. And then other people are like, run. He doesn't love you as you are. You need to just run. But I really think that both sides are oversimplifying it. I think that the truth lies somewhere in between. The question that everyone wants answered is he wrong? But I think the better question is, how is he communicating all of this? Because healthy relationships, they do require growth. I hope that my husband wants me to keep growing. And I also hope that, I challenge my husband to keep growing as well. Again, I say it all the time. We're meant to grow and evolve. We never stop. It's okay to want to do that. So growth is not the problem, control is. And I think that this is the key. There's a big difference between telling your partner, I think that we should both work on becoming healthier together. That's one thing, and saying, lose weight and then I'll marry you. That's a big difference. The first one invites partnership, right? We're in this together. We want this together. And the other one, it just sets a condition. And this is where it kind of starts to get dangerous because when marriage is based on conditions, then it's not really based on who you are. It's based on whether you pass an inspection or a test. Now let's talk about, weight. Can someone reasonably want a healthy partner? Absolutely. Health affects energy and it affects a lot of things in a relationship. This conversation for sure matters. But weight is not necessarily the problem. There may be other reasons, underlying reasons why she has gained weight. It's possible that she might even want to lose weight or be healthier herself. If his concern is truly about health, then the conversation should be about health, not, becoming worthy of a proposal. And when it comes to personal development, of course, if you listen to this podcast, you know that I really prioritize personal development and personal growth. I'm obsessed with becoming a better human. I think we are all meant to do that. But no one grows when they're forced. You can't threaten someone into a transformation. That's not how it works. You can only invite them. Real transformation comes from intrinsic motivation, not from fear of losing someone. Then comes finances. Now, this one deserves a little nuance because money really is one of the biggest predictors of conflict in a marriage. So things like, financial compatibility, they do matter. Financial responsibility matters. Knowing how to budget, communicate, plan, absolutely all of those things really matter. If someone is in massive debt, or if your partner spends recklessly or refuses to discuss finances, then those are all really legitimate concerns. In fact, I encourage couples to have those conversations before they think about marriage. But there's a huge difference between saying, I want us to learn about financial literacy together and, you know, learn how to budget or go take a class on finances, and then I'll put a ring on it. One says, I want to build a future together. And the other one says, you're not enough. So here's what I think is actually happening. This isn't about weight or personal development or even budgeting or money or anything like that. It's really about power. Who gets to decide when someone is finally enough? If today it's, lose 20 pounds and then I'll marry you, then eventually it's going to be make more money or get a promotion or you need to make more friends or you need to be smarter or you need to be sexier or whatever. There's always going to be another condition and the finish line just keeps on moving. And here's something that I really want you to understand. Sometimes people stay in relationships hoping that they're finally going to earn unconditional love. Maybe if I become prettier, he'll choose me. Or maybe if I make more money, he's going to finally respect me. Maybe if I look more confident, then he's going to finally commit. But healthy love should not require you to keep auditioning forever. Healthy love just means that I choose you, not I'll choose you once you complete my checklist. But now I also want to be very clear. I don't necessarily think that he is the villain here. He may genuinely believe that these things matter. He may just be trying to prevent future problems, and I think that that's important. He may have communicated it terribly, but he is allowed to have standards. And she's allowed to have standards too. The problem isn't having standards. The issue is making someone feel that they're fundamentally just not enough. So if this couple called me today and scheduled a session with me today, I really wouldn't start with talking about weight loss or personal development or finances or anything like that. I would start by asking him, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid that she's going to become unhealthy or she's going to get sick? Are you worried that she's going to become financially dependent or unmotivated, or that you're going to have all of this extra responsibility? What is the story that you're actually telling yourself? And then I would ask her, when he said those words to you, what is it that you made it mean? Did you hear, I really care about our future and I want to make sure that we get started on the right foot? Or did you make it mean you're not enough as you are and you need to change? Because most of the time, it's not necessarily the words that were used that's going to destroy the relationship. It's really the stories that we create or what we make those words mean. And remember, even when we're trying to communicate something that's genuine, like these are our standards or I'm afraid, we don't always communicate it in the best way. We don't use the right words. And we sometimes inadvertently make our partner feel like they're not enough. But that might not necessarily have been his intention. But I always like to remind my clients, you can't build a secure relationship if you're constantly wondering, when will I finally be enough? The healthiest couples, they don't require perfection. What they require is commitment. So they commit and then they continue growing together. Marriage isn't the reward for becoming perfect. That's not what marriage is about. Marriage is a partnership where two very imperfect people, because at the end of the day, no one is perfect, but where two imperfect people continue choosing each other every single day and they continue growing together. So, anyway, should she leave him? I don't know. Should he apologize? Maybe, probably. But should they have a real honest conversations about expectations and values and how they each define love? Absolutely. 100%. Because at the end of the day, the real issue is whether they both feel emotionally safe with the person that they plan to spend the rest of their lives with. And that emotional safety is a foundation that everlasting love is really based on. So now I would love to hear what you think. What's your opinion? If your partner came to you and gave you an ultimatum, would you see it as loving honesty or would you see that as emotional manipulation? How would it make you feel? Let me know in the comments. And if you're in a relationship and you're constantly wondering if you're not enough, this is the kind of work that I do with my clients. So reach out to me, send me an email, lifecoach@odettecornell.com, or book a free introductory session with me. And if you enjoyed this conversation today, please, first of all, subscribe to the podcast, share the episode with someone that needs to hear it. And until next time, remember that the healthiest relationships aren't built by finding the perfect person. They're built by two people choosing to continue growing together. If today's episode described you or your relationship, then this is your moment. You don't need more information. You need a new way of living, choosing, and relating. And that's the work I do with individuals and couples. If you're ready to stop repeating the same patterns and start designing your life and relationships intentionally, visit the link in the show notes and book a complimentary relationship and life audit. Remember, your life and your love are yours to design.